Welcome! Today we're going to dive into the world of an artist who is doing something truly incredible, working at this amazing crossroads of science, art, and technology. This is the story of Chantal Cavenel, and what I can only call her alchemy of different worlds.
So, let me start by asking you a question. What if a painting could do more than just hang on a wall? I mean, what if it could actually sing to you? It sounds kind of wild, right? Well, that's the central idea that really brings the work of Chantal Cavenel to life.
So to really get what she's all about, we're going to take a quick journey. We'll start with her surprising background as a scientist, then look at the core elements of her art. After that, we'll see how she smashes them together to create musical moving paintings, explore how you can literally wear her art, and finally, we'll peek into what she's doing on the next artistic frontier.
All right, first up, to really understand her art, you've got to understand the artist. We have to look at how a scientist's soul really laid the foundation for everything that came next. Okay, this is what I find so fascinating. She had this total dual identity. On one hand, she was a biologist of the body, a hospital practitioner in Nice, totally grounded in the precision and the hard facts of science. But at the same time, she was this biologist of the soul, using art, using painting and music to explore this deep, inner, symbolic world. It's this fusion, this blend of scientific discipline and artistic freedom that becomes the absolute bedrock of her work. So how do you build on a foundation like that? Well, let's take a look at the artistic building blocks she mastered. These are the core elements she would eventually start to combine in some really innovative ways. She really built her whole practice on four main pillars. First, there's the painting itself, these incredibly vibrant acrylic pieces. Then there's the music. And get this, she's a composer with over 80 original pieces that she made in her own home studio. She also got into film, directing short films, which gave her a great handle on moving images. And this last one's really important. She's all about community, even co-founding an artist circle to help creatives collaborate. And this just shows you the two main forces at play perfectly. On the left, you've got all that energy and color exploding from her paintings. And on the right, her music. These are the two worlds, sight and sound, that she's about to bring together in a way that's pretty revolutionary. And that brings us right to the synthesis. This is the heart of her innovation, where she takes all these separate skills and masterfully blends them into something totally new. She calls it a musical moving painting. So what in the world is that? Well, think of it as an augmented art form. It's part human, part artificial. Basically, she uses digital tools to literally fuse her paintings with her own music, which creates these symbolic movements and a sensory experience you just don't get from a normal painting. It's a true blend of art and science. The whole process always starts with something physical, something you can touch, a static painting. It's a traditional piece of art on a canvas, full of color and feeling. That's the foundation. And then, through the magic of technology, it is completely transformed. That original painting becomes this huge, living projection. It's animated, it's moving, and it's perfectly synchronized to her music. It's not just on a wall anymore, it becomes the wall, creating this incredible, immersive experience for everyone there. And look, this wasn't some overnight thing. She's been working on and perfecting this concept for more than 20 years. From her very first video art installation way back in 2003, to huge events in Cannes, to winning a major prize from UNESCO in 2018. And now, just recently, exhibiting in a metaverse art fair. It's been a long, dedicated journey of innovation. But her vision doesn't just stop at the gallery wall or on a projected building. Nope. It extends right into our everyday lives, becoming something we can actually touch and even wear. She does this with her brand, Avapor. And the whole idea is summed up perfectly by this French phrase, quand un vêtement devient œuvre d'art. It just means when clothing becomes a work of art. I love that. And here's exactly how it works. It's so cool. On the left, you see one of her original round paintings. Now look to the right. That's the fashion it inspired. The artwork gets digitized and then basically printed right onto the fabric to create these one-of-a-kind pieces. Everything from kimonos to leggings, you are literally wearing art. This fusion of art and, just daily life isn't just about clothes. It also extends to design objects. I mean, check out this awesome plexiglass table. It's not just a piece of furniture. It's a functional work of art that brings her amazing style right into your home. But of course, a true innovator like Cavenel is always looking ahead. She's always pushing the boundaries, always asking, okay, what's next for art in this crazy digital world we live in? And that leads to a really fundamental question that honestly every artist is wrestling with right now. In an age where you can copy a digital file a million times, how does art change its expression? And maybe even more importantly, how does it redefine what it even means to own a piece of art?
Well, for Cavenel, the answer is to dive headfirst into that digital frontier. She's doing this by turning her creations into NFTs, using the blockchain to basically authenticate her work and give collectors a whole new way to own a piece of her unique vision.
And her digital universe is pretty expansive. She's got collections on OpenSea, which is a huge NFT marketplace. And it's not just her paintings, it's NFTs of her fashion designs and even the musical moving paintings themselves. She also builds these immersive 3D galleries in the metaverse, so anyone from anywhere in the world can literally step inside her art. But with all this cutting-edge tech, we're talking projections, NFTs, the metaverse, it's so important to remember her guiding principle, which is just deeply human. Créer du beau pour faire du bien. To create beauty, to do good. At the end of the day, that is the why behind everything she does. So ultimately, Chantal Cavenel's incredible journey, from biologist to metaverse artist, it really shows us that the future of art isn't about picking a side, physical versus digital, it's about the beautiful, exciting alchemy that happens when you fuse them together. Makes you wonder, what new senses will art awaken next?